For this particular project, the Climate Smart Agriculture Reporting Project, we partnered with Climate Smart Jobs to do capacity building of journalists in northern Uganda and different media houses that are in northern Uganda and West Nile, in order for them to report on climate change and climate smart agriculture. We later had to choose these stories in order for them to be taken back to the exact communities where these stories were told.
We do these exhibitions so as to follow up on the stories that have previously been done, to get to understand from the farmers, do they feel like they were well represented? Do they feel like, have there been any changes from when the stories were done? We engage all the stakeholders. In this case, we engage the farmers, we engage the private sector organizations, we engage the community members, the local leaders, the experts in the agricultural sector, mainly to get their commitments, to get their learnings, even their own solutions. Their own solutions in contributing to in the adaptation to climate change.
Journalists are putting things into newspapers, they are putting things into radio, but it's important that we know these stories, do they make sense to farmers? Do they make sense to communities? Do they show the problems they have and the solutions? So it's been really interesting today to see the journalists coming to the communities and showing their work to say, we have done this, what do you think? Is this your life? Does this help you to respond to climate change? So this has been really positive.
The refugees, they are using optimized land model approach to maximize production.
What the practice normally is collect data, go and write the stories, and that is where it ends. So the community doesn't get to appreciate what the information we collect actually impacts. But then this is a different approach. The stories are collected, taken somewhere, we process them, and also brought back to the community to say, this is actually the picture right here. Fair to say, not every story can depict the exact picture of a community. So they're also able to give us feedback and say, no, look, we're actually doing better or we're doing worse than the story that is pictured.
This time around I had to reach to the farmers, and I have learned that very many farmers are really struggling and doing it for them.
Yeah. I think my own opinion is that this opportunity is for journalists to reconnect with the community. A journalist may have spoken to one farmer, but when we get back to the community, you have more farmers seeing the stories. This, for us, will be a learning experience. That, oh, I think there's another way, that beyond the listening to on the radio, what if we have an expo and we showcase many of our works we have done with farmers to interact and bring other stakeholders to interact with the communities.
You say she planted tomatoes as flowers around, and this has helped her to use a small land and get much.
One of the constant feedbacks that we continue to receive, but also that we received very loudly during our inception period for Climate Smart Jobs, was a resounding voice from these smallholder farmers saying that they would really love to hear back what we do with this information that we collect from them. So partnering with InfoNile on this, taking stories back to the community, it allows us the ability to actually come back and close that loop in terms of information.
This partnership has benefited us in so many ways. First of all, we've been able to partner with it has broadened our scope of the networks we have of journalists in northern Uganda, that is Lira, Arua, and Gulu and its environs. We've also been able to work with the private sector organizations, one arm that we previously did not have. From the reporting of these stories, we've also benefited from the Climate Change Reporting Award by ACME, where we were first runners up. We've also been able to get a climate change reporting grant that is rolling out soon.
I've been in multiple platforms where smallholder farmers are engaged at scale. I've never seen it done by media. I've never seen it done in the format that it is being done. That is something that we need to find ways of preserving.
journalism should not just end in the media houses. The stories they write should not just end on the newspapers, on the radio, or on the TV screens that they share. It is important for them to go back to these communities and get back their feedback, get back their solutions, get back their thought processes, any new developments, and even their recommendations for what can be done.
Having more media houses go out to farmers, go out to readers, go out to listeners of their radio shows and say, these are our stories. Does this reflect your life? Does this help you? I think that's good. So I think doing more things like this would be really positive.